Do you think there's anything to what we're saying, or are we just idiots?
No, I definitely believe what you guys are saying. Apparently, you're supposed to look at like the document and all the things they sent within like a 10-minute frame. So they'll watch like Netflix for 9 minutes and 30 seconds and then go decline it with the final 30 seconds.
Crazy.
And then there's also the other part where I see so many people doing like Amazon content, Amazon mentorship, and I know they don't know what they're doing, or I have their storefront and they have nothing in there. And it's not one or two people, it's like a dozen. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. There's like better opportunities too. Like if you were brand new and you've never made money online, just go do TikTok shop or something. Like you're probably better off there.
Yeah. John likes to hear that.
How are you taking them to the next level?
I don't know. A lot of the people who are doing like sub 20K a month, I guess, they're just not super confident in what they're doing. And you can give me a section 3 today, I'm going to beat it 100% because my stuff in my Google Drive is just so well documented.
But it's like, dude, that's a stressful life. And I don't even know if it's worth it at all.
The quickest way to everything you want or your goals is to never miss a day, because some days you get lucky.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment podcast. Today we have Sadiq, second time returning to the podcast. He's a 7-figure Amazon seller. We're going to chop up everything Amazon, Walmart, e-com. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. This is my first ever repeat guest on a pod, so this is cool.
Let's go.
Yeah. We've been on a little streak of like getting people back, but it just makes it more fun. And like I feel like you and Checkmate Flips and everybody, it's just like more of a conversation. Me and John have done so many damn interviews in the last like few months that now it's more like, you know, we get to just talk with somebody, which is always cool.
Yeah, dude, I've done like 15 pods total, and it's always the same thing. Always.
Yeah, you've done 15 podcasts?
Whether it's like podcasts, live events, or videos, like everything combined, it's like over 15.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about that. You think like just the interview style? That's like what it usually is?
It's straight interview style, and that's really it. Depending on the person, I'll get like a variance of questions, but it's ultimately just the same thing. How'd you get started? What are you doing now? What's the revenue looking like? What's your catalyst for growth and all that stuff? It's always the same thing.
Yeah, it's hard, I guess. It's like a balancing act between, you know, that's valuable. And like some people may not know you. Like some people might have just started listening to the pod, so we probably should try to interview a little bit. But at the same time, it's just like go watch the other one. Like I don't know. I'd rather know more about like your insights of like what you have to like say and think about stuff rather than like, you know, how'd last month go or whatever in sales. What kind of ASINs are you selling? Just like, does that really help?
Yeah, I don't need to know that you like went to the Nike outlet and bought a pair of sneakers and are like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah. But how have things been since the last time we talked? What's the direction of your stuff been?
Dude, we're just scaling away at this point. I did like 1.7 million last year, hoping to be around 4 to 5 million total between Amazon and Walmart. Just got started in Walmart. And it's really just OA. Working on a little bit of brand direct stuff, but I don't really like that stuff. But I can definitely see how that's like the long-term, you know, direction for Amazon. So there a little bit.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
What don't you like about it? That's like the big buzz right now, brand direct wholesale.
I just don't like talking to other people like that. And then I got to please them too of like, I'll do this for you. I'll do that. I don't want to do anything for you. I just want to sell your stuff.
What about, I know that you do a lot of shoe stuff, right?
Yeah.
How does that translate to Walmart? Because I remember I got on there, and the first thing I looked at was shoes. I was looking at like Converse and Nike stuff, and I was just like, yeah, this is like isn't much higher. But maybe I was looking at the wrong stuff. I was looking at like pretty generic, you know, lifts and, you know, Air Forces and stuff.
I have no plan to do sneakers and apparel on Walmart like at all. I don't think that's what people. At least I don't know Walmart for that type of stuff anyway. I was gonna more or less do like the electronics, toys, and like grocery and stuff because that's what I know Walmart for. So I imagine it sells a lot better. But yeah, that's really it. And my VAs know how to source like entirely. It doesn't need to just be sneakers. I just do it because it's, you know, less units moving around. New fees come in. It doesn't really hurt me too hard at all because the ASP is so high. I know it super well for my StockX, eBay, and Goat days. Yeah, it's just it's an easier time for me with shoes on Amazon.
And you still are doing them like full into it. Yeah, well, you haven't been deterred at all or scared away? Because I got so scared of shoes because I was just like seeing all the returns I was getting. What do you do with your returns? Like, how do you deal with that after that much time? I don't understand how.
I'm working on getting on with the same company Soros uses for like the liquidation, like the reverse prep centers where they inbound it, they file the claims for you, and then they'll sell it. elsewhere, but for now they just come to my house and my sister just helps me with the eBay stuff. So not
Okay.
that big of a deal. The biggest thing is you just need to file the claims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of money back from it?
Yeah, decent amount.
You're
It's
not like bad about it. You don't let them stack up in the corner.
no, I definitely do, but I'll do it like once a quarter.
Okay, once a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let it get bad, dude. That's how I am. I probably have 150 shoes still. I'm just like, I'm never gonna touch these. Like, it just they keep stacking up.
Yeah, I get it. Like it's annoying to deal with, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, I need another credit card, I need another loan, but really you just need better cash flow and you need to take care of your death pile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the death pile is probably like an extra 10K, 20K that people just have sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, and instead of opening another 0% APR and keep letting that roll, just take care of it.
So what about the competition with shoes? Is it like more cooked or is it better now?
Honestly, I've seen a lot of people say this too. It's been a lot better since people got regated. I'm not gonna lie. It's been like
Oh, yeah.
really, really, really good.
I thought so because a lot of the Nike people are just gone, right?
Nike, Adidas, like any big brand you could think of, shoes and apparel. It's like they're not there. Like these offer counts are like in half, and it's unbelievable. This is my best margin month ever, like ever, December included.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's sweet. And you think it's all because of the ungating?
Then I upped my criteria with my VAs. I got like more influx of leads, so like we're just narrowing down to just the best stuff, and we're just buying that. So I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have an Amazon question. I haven't asked one of these in forever. When you do the shoes, are you like, you do like generic shoes, like the normal stuff people talk about, or do you look at like seasonality? If like right now it'd be like maybe baseball stuff, right? Or I don't know what season we're going into, probably around there. Do you care about that stuff?
Not really, but if I come across it, I'm definitely gonna buy heavier. Like I came across some baseball bats that I absolutely unloaded on recently because baseball season's coming up. Um, But yeah, I don't really look at seasonality too much. Things sell year round, especially if the keeper looks good. But when it comes to like sports and stuff like that, that's obviously better. Or if it's like winter boots or whatever, I'm not gonna buy it in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And winter boots are like, I think I saw this. There was one time it was in arbitrage ops. This guy sold like 1,000 pairs of winter boots, and it was just a net negative. He lost money because the returns were so bad on women's winter boots.
Yeah, you could get hammered. Like
Yeah.
I hate buying women's shoes, or at least like the boots. Like I'll buy like normal running shoes; those are okay. But I stay away from all those like high end things too, like the women dress shoes or whatever. I don't buy any of those ever, ever.
Yeah, those are bad.
No, thank
So
you.
bad.
You can keep them.
Yeah. What you got, John?
That's awesome. Do you recommend like people get into the apparel game still and shoes, or you think that the regate is here to stay?
I hope it's here to stay. I hope, hopefully for my business, but for others, I guess I hope it comes back. I really don't, but I don't know. There's plenty of other categories. There's plenty of other brands. There's a bunch of shoes and apparel brands that are not hard gated either. So, I mean, there's still opportunity.
Yeah, I think you might be the prime person to ask this, but you know, you watch this pod all the time, so you hear how kind of like pessimistic we are about the Amazon stuff.
Mhm.
What do you think about like our consensus over this stuff? Do you think that we are? Because I don't know if you've watched the recent ones, but I've been talking about like I don't know if maybe we are just like a part of the mania or if it's really that bad. But you're obviously having more and more success. Do you think there's anything to what we're saying, or are we just idiots?
No, I definitely believe what you guys are saying, but most of the people who are still doing it know the risk they're taking anyway. I saw the podcast you guys did with Soros. He knows the risk he's taken, but it's like the money's there and the opportunity's there. And then also for the regates, of the people they regated that I saw was doing like heavy volume, like 2, 3, 400K a month, all those guys got it back within a couple days, just like the previous one. Except for one guy, but I know he was doing a bunch of shady stuff, so it is what it is.
Yes, you don't think you don't like get too scared about it.
No, I'll figure it out if I need to.
Interesting.
That's a good mentality.
Yeah. Go more into the shady stuff because I feel like a lot of people don't think about that. They're just like, oh, Amazon's being mean. And I think a lot of the people, I mean, I don't want to say that because I know Amazon does weird stuff. And like, you know, all the course creators the other day are sharing that little Reddit feed or whatever, saying that the Amazon employee would just say it's fake. So they don't have to do any work or whatever.
That was
but
crazy,
like, what
by
are,
the way. That was
what'd you
insane.
say?
That was
Yeah, that's
crazy, by the
absolutely
way.
insane. Did you see that, True?
No, what are you guys talking about?
You could tell the story. You probably know better.
Basically, a former Amazon employee went on Reddit and put like a little Reddit post about how They were just declining invoices for 9 months straight, saying they were inauthentic, and people were congratulating her, him, or whoever, for catching all the stuff for 9 months straight.
No way.
Yeah, because what happened is they said that something was real, right? And then it turned out to be fake, and then they got in trouble or like reprimanded. So they're like, all right, whatever. I'm just gonna say everything is fake. And then they started like getting all these rewards, and they were just saying, what do they say? They watch like Netflix for 10 minutes, and then like
Yeah.
set a timer, and then be like, oh shit, like I'm just gonna reject this now, so it looked like I looked at it for 10 minutes.
Apparently, you're supposed to look at like the document and all the things they sent within like a 10-minute frame. So they'll watch like Netflix for 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and then go decline it with the final 30 seconds.
Crazy.
What were people saying like about it, like on Twitter or whatever?
I don't know. I just read like the little screenshot they posted, but
Dang.
I thought that was insane.
That is insane, and it's just like it's definitely sad too. I guess he did. I mean, it's assumed that he's from Amazon. He didn't dox himself on Reddit, but like,
Yeah.
he's like the biggest e-commerce platform, and it just made sense.
Yeah. Man, what's crazy about the Amazon stuff is like they're notorious for treating their employees like terrible. And Jeff Bezos has like this thing where he's like churn your employees like every year. So like all these people like probably don't get treated very good. And there's so many people that like are involved with all the processes you do in your business. Like I remember I sent a ton of shoes one time to some place. They all just disappeared. And then I looked online, was like looking into it. It just ended up that place, a bunch of workers just stole a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I bet they just stole my shit. Like that's the only. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like clearly that's just workers funneling this out, especially some place in Indiana. I guarantee that's what it is.
That was like the sneaker black hole for a long time.
Yep, and I bet it's just fraud. It's just people stealing stuff from it. And then Amazon, do they really even care? It's like whatever.
They probably don't. But I had a Q4 shipment. It was like probably 17 or 18 grand worth of sneakers. Probably like 400 or 500 units, and then I sent it, and it said 0 received, closed case. I submitted all my docs, and then 3 days later they find everything. I'm like, that is crazy.
Oh, I bet you're nervous.
Like, what can you do at that point? Like, just stop selling? No.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I did. I didn't have anything like that happen, but yeah, enough of that stuff happened. You're like, dang man, I could lose so much so fast. It's like out of my control.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of gotten to the point where I could take so many losses, it doesn't even matter anymore. There's just so much money in the business, and I've made a ton of money too. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of just brush it off and keep going.
I bet that's like a healthy space to be in, because a lot of people are like, they can't afford that loss, but you're just, I can stack like 6 of those and I'm kind of fine. Yeah, that's a really good place to be. And ironically, you probably have like less bad stuff happen to you because you're just more abundant about it all.
There's like nothing bad that ever happens, like at least recently, like within the last year or two. But I don't know. It took a while to get to that point, and then you guys have been selling for a while too. You eventually get a nest egg, assuming you're making money every year. And then it's like you can take a 5K loss or a 10K loss. Yeah, it hurts, and yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's like, is it going to stop you from selling? No, not really.
Yep. What else you got going on besides Amazon? I feel like I talked to you recently. You were doing something else, but I don't remember.
Oh, it was the marketing thing we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to do that for myself, and then the program I kind of bought was like, if you already have the following, if you already have like the influx of leads, and then it's like they're just tweaking your back end. So I didn't really know what I was buying, but it is what it is. I got the connection. I met a bunch of people. Yeah. I'm never going to say that's like an L or whatever, but I joined another one, 15 grand. Yeah, it was a pretty big step, but it's all for like personal branding, content, sales, funnels, VSLs, like basically like A to Z personal branding and coaching. So
will you say who it is, or you don't want to say?
No, I don't want to. I'll tell you guys after.
Okay.
Because everybody always buys everything I buy anyway whenever I post about it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. You can promote it, get a little affiliate commission off in the future, I'm sure.
It's not worth it.
Oh no, not the 15K.
Oh no. Well, the affiliate system sucks for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what program you bought before. I think I remember. I know who that guy is. He knows his stuff, but I think I understand where you'd be
like. It's for like more advanced people, like later down the line. Like let's say you have like 50 to 100,000 followers or whatever, and you just have leads coming in. One tweak can just change your business and like make 5x the money.
Yeah.
So
A good thing about those things, dude, like we talk about this on it, it's all going to stack. And it's like, you might, at the moment, I can be like, what's the best thing you learned? You might not even be able to tell me. But in like, when you have to use that information, it'll just like come to your brain. You're like, whoa, that might make me extra 50K. I remembered it, from 3 years ago, whatever, which that's always good.
100%. And then he's like the initial guy. It's Ben Bader. A lot of
Yeah.
people know I bought that. He's kind of like a mutual too, because I'm friends with Miles. So it's like if I'm going down to Miami, I'm gonna talk to him, I'm gonna see him. Like, I don't know, the connection was worth it, I think too.
Yeah. We need to get him on the pod. I need to try to. I don't follow him. He doesn't follow me on anything, but I'm sure I know enough people to where I could get like some kind of connection with him. I mean, Miles, obviously, but I'm sure
I can just ask him.
Yeah.
I'll
He'd be a
text
good
him.
person to get on here. He's like a master at that stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. Like those, I just watched your guys' podcast you dropped earlier today, talking about like the personal branding and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, these dudes just print cash whenever they want, like whenever they want.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. It's almost like I'm trying to avoid it, really. Like, but can you really avoid it? Like, it's like the best way to make money, and it's not going away.
Yeah, and then there's also the other part where I see so many people doing like Amazon content, Amazon mentorship, and I know they don't know what they're doing, or I have their storefront and they have nothing in there. And it's not one or two people, it's like a dozen. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
So, what do you think about the landscape of that? We ask people about it all the time, but I'm sure you're more on like the nose with it than most people.
No, I hate it. I hate it. There's very few legit guys.
What about you? Do you do it still?
Me? Yeah, I have it. But like, bro, I could promise you my stuff is insane. Like it's insanely valuable for the price. And like more than half of my guys have had more than a 10K profit month too. So it's like that's 3x what they paid me at the time.
Yeah, that's impressive. Are you pushing it actively? I don't even get on Twitter or anything. Like, how do you like run your marketing for it or whatever?
No, I don't really. That's kind of why I bought the stuff. But if they reach out to me, they're pretty warm leads, and I'll just go through like a list of questions or whatever, DM setting, quote unquote. But I don't know. It's more natural for me. Like I'm not pushing it super hard because I make a lot of money from my stores, and the other stuff I do as well. So I'm not in a rush to get people in it. I don't know. I also don't like hard shilling stuff either.
I was gonna say, like, it seems like when we were talking about the coaching, you almost had like some hesitation, be like, "Oh, are you pushing hard?" Like
No,
kind of
I'm
thing.
really not. Like I really could, but I don't really like doing that stuff. Like I like coaching and I like helping people, but it's not like my favorite thing to do. I'd rather just hop on a call with my friends and just talk and buy a bunch of leads or whatever. But
Yeah,
I definitely know it makes a ton of money. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a push pull thing. It's hard, but I will say, if you're doing the Amazon, you might as well do the coaching stuff. I mean, it's like the easiest way to add extra income. It's like a whole different business that can be twice the business you have. It's insane.
no, yeah, it is nuts. I got a little taste of it last year when I first launched. I got like 5 people in like the first week. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the people don't understand that, man. How much it's like. It's just huge. And like you can, like the people that, even if you're doing like 15, 20K a month, let's say like a little bit of what you're doing, you can still help somebody. Like I got a guy that like wasn't doing much at all. He was just immediately making more from mentorship than he was from the business. Because I told him, I was like, dude, just do this. You have a following of people that don't know this stuff. So like, it a little bit is like so like invaluable to them because they don't even know how to start an account.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I definitely saw it a little bit cringy too when I would see people doing like 10K a month and then selling mentorship. But then I watched a podcast with like some high level people, and I don't remember who it was, but it's like those guys are on like level 2 or 3, and they're teaching level 1 or level 0, and
Mm-hmm.
and they make a ton of money, so you can't even hate. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So you can't hate on kindergarten or first grade teachers.
Yeah, and then when you're on level 10 and you're teaching level 5 or whatever, you can also charge more money because those guys have more money. So
Yep.
it's just part of the game.
Yep. 100%. What else, John? What you got?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Do you think you'll do a lot more coaching, or you just kind of want to keep it low key?
No, I probably will scale it up a little bit, but I don't want it to be my main thing. I don't love it as much as um I like doing ecom.
So what is your like what is your kind of goal with it? Are you just going to keep scaling Amazon forever, or are you like going to pivot to anything, or even if it's just like a subsidiary of what you're doing now?
I don't know. The guy who the mentorship I bought, the 15K one, he told me. Do you guys know who Ecom Side Hustle is? The guy with like all the cars, Kevin Coonsey. He runs Amazon private label. Yeah.
Yeah, remind me about that after the pod.
Okay.
I got something
Um,
good to do.
basically he told me, because they're like friends, so you guys can maybe put the pieces together of who I bought from. But he owns the entire process of his mentorship. So like he owns the manufacturer, import export company, uh, whatever else you could pay for, prep center, 3PL, whatever. He owns everything. So when someone comes through and pays him for the mentorship, they pay for everything. So he's making way more than a couple thousand from those people. But they also need him because he owns everything. So I don't know if I could get something like that running eventually, like long term vision. That'd be pretty cool because I definitely think you can make a lot of money there. I got a lot of money.
And this guy's a private label guy you're talking about?
Kevin's a private label guy, yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Yeah, that is like the goal, huh? You get this like huge flywheel of like, well, people pay you, and then you can distribute the service. So you're kind of cutting out all these costs that maybe and like variables that are out of your control.
Well, that money's gonna go somewhere. So like,
Sure.
just let it be you, and you'll make all the money. Like, I don't know if people like what can you really pay? Like, imagine someone who was really really big in the space. They have a big coaching program. They own a pretty good 3PL. They own the biggest leads list or whatever, and they just cover like A to Z everything you're gonna pay for. They just collect all the money. And I heard that, and like a little light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, that's insane. I don't know why I've never thought about that ever, but
Yeah, then you get like equity built into it, where it's like personal brand is never like a equity type play. You can't sell yourself, but like that is where you make it like an equity play.
No, 100%. Yeah, I need to grow the personal brand too. Like I have stuff going for me now. I'm making a lot of money. People ask me questions all the time. I just need to grow it.
Yeah, how do you see me and John talk about this all the time? How do you see like the engagement of stuff? Because like I'm just literally not on it because I'm doing all the crypto stuff, so I'm not even on my stuff. Is the engagement better? Is it worse? We've had some people say views are less on Amazon content because it's obviously more saturated. But
Twitter's like way way smaller. Instagram I don't really notice too much of a difference to be honest, but Twitter's definitely way smaller, like 100%.
Okay. What do you think that is? I know it's Psycho. He was on here, and that was a while ago, but he was like, dude, I'll post a huge thread and get like 400 views, and he has 35,000 followers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so many people turn over because you guys know how this business model is. Like 1,000 people start, and like 10 people might be left in another year or two. It's just how it goes. And then with these newer sellers just can't selling these newer brands, it's just harder, and a lot of people are not going to fight through all that stuff, and they're just going to jump on the next business model, I think.
Interesting.
I also think there's like better opportunities too. Like if you were brand new, and you've never made money online, just go do TikTok shop or something. Like you're probably better off there.
Yeah. John likes to hear that.
Yeah.
No, I 100%. I think that was now that we're doing it twice a week, these all like blend together. We should do like one. I think that's what we talked about the pod that we released today. It's like, yeah, like there are just better opportunities. And like, if you don't mind making a video, or Drew was talking about, it's like that you need almost opportunities where it's like, you could make a 30-second video and make $100,000.
Yeah.
Like it's possible. Like you cannot do that on Amazon. Like it's just not going to happen. And you don't have any upfront money. You're just making videos, screwing around. Like, why not?
Yeah. Especially my hometown friends too. Like I dropped out, by the way. A bunch of my friends are still in college. So like whenever they hit me up to start business or whatever, I'm like, you really don't want to do this. Like you really don't, because you don't have a lot of money, or any money for that matter, and that you might as well just do something that costs $0. Whether that's copywriting, sales is honestly another really really good option too. I like that podcast you guys did with that guy. He's really really good at speaking, like really really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I thought so too. You can tell like the difference. You can tell he's a sales guy, and that guy that the offer he runs and stuff is very close to like what we were talking about earlier. But I'll tell you after the podcast. I don't think you wanted to say it on here, but yeah, that he's big in the sales world. Like he knows what he's doing.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm glad you liked that one because it got we were surprised it got like a ton of views. But I was like, dude, he's such a good speaker that it's like hard to turn that off. You're just like, oh, this is like very easy flow.
Yeah, there's some things where it's just like I don't even care what they're saying. It's just they're really good at speaking. I'll just have it playing in the background while I'm like reviewing leads or something.
Yep.
So.
What do you think about the pod? I know you're like a pretty avid listener. So what do you think over the last, how we've taken it since you?
Dude, I like it. I told you guys. I congratulated you guys when you guys first launched. I'm like, this is nuts. Like I looked up to Drew a lot when I was first doing OA stuff. It was you and Soros. Those were my two guys. Where it's like I want to be like them. They're doing crazy numbers. They're making a lot of money, right? And then when you drop the pod, I'm like, this is awesome because I get a little bit more insight of what you guys are up to.
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy for you to say that. I looked up to Soros, then you put me and him in the same conversation. It's like, what the heck, dude? That's so
Well,
weird.
it's basically like OA to prep guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you guys were like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird to think about too.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm gone. Soros is still cranking, but
Dude, he's insane.
yeah. Maybe I'll go. Maybe I'll come back sometime. I was just telling John, I'm like moving soon. I'll have more space. Maybe I'll do that. The crypto stuff's quickly dying, so we'll see what I end up doing in the future.
Yeah, you come back, we'll run it up. Walmart, Amazon, whatever you want.
I don't know if I'll be able to, man. I don't know if I'm like too out of touch. I still have the skill set, but I don't know how tough.
There's no way you lose it, bro. Like, there's no. You did it straight for how long? Like a couple years, right?
3 or 4.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Maybe I will.
Yeah, come back. We'll run it up.
I think Drew does. Maybe you should make a comeback.
Oh, if I make a comeback, the amount of mentorships I'll sell, you don't even know. That's what I'll do it for. So I can have the screenshots to be like, I'm back to coaching.
You got all the brands too.
Yeah, I know. We'll see.
Your store is doxed though.
Yeah, it is. So I gave it away to everybody.
Make a new one. You'll be all right.
That's true.
Oh,
And
yeah,
mine's
I
about
got
to
the
be
brands.
collapsed, dude. I keep getting emails all the time of like, your store's about to be shut down. You're almost suspended, because I just don't deal with anything. Somebody will send me a message, I just never even reply.
Yeah. No, you can't make a new store. You're not gonna have the brands.
Oh, true.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
All right. Forget it. Walmart it is.
Well, yeah, that's probably what I would do anyways. From what we've heard too, like the simplicity of that, I would just have to outweigh, like, is the volume and the simplicity worth it? I'm sure it's like a huge balancing scale of like, and maybe I have a more of an edge there because I was a data guy, but as you know, especially with the shoe stuff, there's not a ton of data you have to go off of, especially the StockX and the Ghost. You're like purely speculative, so you have to develop like a natural intuition. So I think that would carry over to Walmart because that's all you're doing because there's no data.
Yeah, and it's a lot lighter too. That's the annoying part, if I'm being honest. I haven't done very much sales on Walmart at all, but it's like I hate buying 1 or 2 things just to wait a couple of weeks to see if it's going to sell or not, and then I'll have to replenish if I can't even replenish because I'm doing OA. So that's annoying. I'd rather just buy super deep, good stuff. I know it'll move and make the money.
You think you'll do a lot of Walmart, or is that turning you off?
We'll see. I need a couple runners to like absolutely hit, and then get a bunch of sales on something because I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, that one's a tough one. I don't know. I'm sure you've heard it. We've talked to so many people about Walmart, and we really have. I don't even have a conclusion at this point. Like we said our conclusions on one pod recently, but it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of in the air.
Yeah, my goal is just to like figure out what works, and then just toss it to the VAs and let them just pump me leads and buy the stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then
Did you watch Sweeney? Did you watch Sweeney's podcast? Did you like that about the VAs? I'm sure that's not how you handle your VAs. Firing 60.
No, I treat mine like kings, literally. Hiring and firing 60 was absurd. I don't know how you even do that.
Yeah, I would feel so bad, but he obviously does not care at all.
Yeah, I'm kind of spoiled too. My buddy Jack, JTP Sneaks, that I started Amazon with, he has a little VA hiring agency, and they come like pre-trained with Keepa, knowledge, seller amp. They know what moves, they know what sells. You can pick a category you want them to like be good at, and then I get them in, and then I just train them up for like, I don't know, like 3 meetings a week for a couple months, and then they're really, really good, and that's it.
Or is that profitable with that agency? I know a lot of people, I've heard some people tell me that like they want to start a VA agency, and I'm like, that's way harder than you think it is. And I don't know, is it profitable, like highly profitable?
I don't think it's highly profitable. I definitely know it's profitable though, or he wouldn't be doing it. He makes a good amount of money too.
It's like you have to systematize the hell out of that because you're not going to be like individually training these VAs.
He has 2 VAs on it that does the training that are really, really good. They've done it for over a year.
Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of competition. Fast Track, I know his was massive at one point. I don't know if they're still bigger anymore.
Yeah, there's Fast Track, there's Carter, there's this new guy, Zach Allen. He's from RBOBs. He has it too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Jack is like more low key, but yeah, those are the only ones I know about at least.
Yeah. What do you think's the best info thing? What's the best thing for someone to do? Let's say they sell on Amazon. This would be pretty valuable for people too. What's the best like informational or like some kind of other business they can do? What do you think's the easiest, maybe most profitable? What do you think there?
I definitely think it's like it has to be TikTok Shop because it costs no money. You get the money into your bank account. There's no cost or there's nothing associated with it. And if you really wanted to, you can go pump that back into the store. That's part of the reason I did coaching because I was pumping that money back into the store for a long time.
Yeah, but it is a different skill set.
You could figure it out. If you can figure out Amazon, you'll figure it out. I promise.
Fair
If
enough.
you really wanted to
Yeah.
figure it out, you'll figure it out.
Well, what about an Amazon related thing?
Oh, Amazon related thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of like a warehouse and a prep center, so definitely not that. It's got to be coaching then,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I definitely think.
because the only other options there is like the 3PL, a prep center, a software, I guess. But good luck. I'm not doing any of those.
Yeah, or the VA agency, or a course. Well, what do you think if you had to do like an information? Is it course, group, or coaching out of the three?
Coaching, because it's just higher ticket. You need less people, and you're dealing with less people too.
True.
You're getting higher quality people too. The same guy paying you $20 a month is not going to be the same guy paying you $5,000 for a mentorship.
Yep, that's what I try to
Yeah.
tell everybody.
Yeah, you told me to hire my prices back when I was talking to you about it, but I recently hired it.
Yeah, it's gonna make a big difference. I was just telling somebody, or I can say it because I was telling Jonathan on the pod. So, dude, just make it like $15,000, and then just like assume no one's gonna pay, and then whoever books a call, they probably will pay, and then you'll just make 15 grand, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, and especially too, like I don't take on any beginners either. It's like one tweak of somebody doing 20, 25K a month, or even another supplier or two, they're gonna make all their money back pretty quickly.
Yep.
Like very quickly.
Yeah, and you have like very little risk of them just like quitting and leaving and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge unlock too. Do you watch any of Hermosi stuff?
Yeah.
Lately, he's been on fire. Like he's been doing like almost like a Shark Tank style content, and like he'll basically go through someone's business, and they'll be like, "All right, what do you do here?" And he's like, "Why only spending like $300 on ads? Like if you literally did this, you'd have a $3 million business." Like they have like all these people have the base, and it's just like these other things that he writes down on this huge piece of paper. It's like we're gonna get a 3x here, probably a 4x here, a 2x here. He's like, probably take you 6 months. And I'm like, damn. And it's like very small stuff, not like anything crazy that's like out of these people's like wheelhouse at all.
Yeah, I saw one of them. It was like a guy doing like a $60 a month school group. He had like 1,000 subscribers, and then he just made a bunch of tweaks. And it's like, I haven't seen the results because it just came out recently, but I'm assuming he's going to get way more people. Like when Hermosi spits off that stuff or spits off things like that, I'm like, this guy just knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he has this ability, I think, to see, like you'll see this with all these like big marketers, like the older ones, and they've been around the game. It's like they can see like the big picture and like make tweaks with it. Where it's like with us, we're kind of like looking at individual stuff of like what will move the needle here and there. It's like they can just see it all and just see like, okay, you just plug this in here and plug this in there. Like it's a big machine where it's like we're just working on like the individual parts. I don't know what that whole skill is, but I noticed that a lot of those guys can do that.
I don't know. I think it's got to be like a lot of reps or something
Yeah.
like that. Like, they've done business at a high level for a long time too. Like Hermosi's been doing it forever, or a lot longer than me. So
Yep. Yeah, I have actually a funny story. I don't think I've told this on here, but I had this like fitness offer I was running for a while, and it was about like getting a body, like a dating type of body.
Yeah.
And I showed this to so many people, man, like friends, family, marketers, everything. Everybody's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Like, I don't know what to really tell you, but I'm trying to work on the words. I'm trying to work on all this different stuff, like redoing the VSL, redid it like 15 times, everything like this, redoing the editing. And then I brought it upon this like big marketer guy. He just says, why is there not just a bunch of chicks on the page? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just AI a bunch of like hot girls and just put them all over the thing. And then your conversion rate will go up. I did that 3x my conversion rate the next day, 3 times a week. I was like, dude, all it took was like just someone looking at all of it and being like, just throw hot chicks all over it. And then you'll just make more money. And I never even thought to do that. And all these different people would look at all these things and tell me little things, but it's just like, they just see the bigger picture and like what's missing from like your offer or like whatever you're working on.
yeah, and that's super valuable too, because everyone has blind spots in their business. And if someone comes in and just tells you what to do, part of the reason I bought the 15K mentorship too, and it's not a little rinky-dink course where anybody can buy it or whatever. I get a one-on-one with the dude every single week, and he's just fixing everything.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think is so what's your ideal, I guess, client, and what are they missing? Like, how are you taking them to the next level?
I don't know. A lot of the people who are doing like sub 20K a month, I guess, they're just not super confident what they're doing, or they don't know. They just don't know what they're missing. Whether like they're doing all the prep by themselves, or they're missing some suppliers, or they're not doubling down on what's working well. Or let's just say they're at 50K a month and they're not outsourcing and they're doing everything by themselves. It's like just random stuff like that because I've done it all. I have 4 VAs now. I went from pack. This room I'm in right now used to have like 300 shoes at a time when I was doing RA, and it was my sister's bedroom at the time. But I was prepping, packing, and all that stuff all by myself. Got up to 60K a month, fully switched it over OA a couple months later, and then boom, I had my first 100K month. It's like there's just random things similar to like the Hormozy, but not at that scale where you can just look at what they're missing because you've been doing it for a while and just fix it, I guess.
Yeah. What's your success rate with that kind of stuff? You think? What your student success rate? Because I know like industry standards really low. So
No, it's
what do
definitely
you
really
think?
low. It's definitely over 50%. Like over 50% made 10K
That's
in a
good.
month.
Wow.
I haven't had a ton of people either. Like I'm not mainstream at all. I don't really want a ton of people either. I'd rather just focus on like the 5, 10 guys and ramp them up.
What's the biggest commonality between the people that make it and like do well and the people that don't? And you can't say something that is obvious. No cliches.
Uh, well, no, I have to say one. They're not consistent. The people who are consistent will make all the money
Sure.
because Tate had this little quote too, and it's going to be kind of corny, but it's like, um,
If you're still listening to the podcast at this point, you are into it and a fan, and we really appreciate that. If you could do us a solid and subscribe, and do all that stuff, it really helps the podcast grow. And secondly, if you could tag us on Instagram, just take a picture of what part you are at the podcast. If you like it, tell us what you think about it. Tag me at Side Hustle Experiment, and I will definitely share it. Now let's get back to the podcast.
the what is it? It's like the quickest way to everything you want or your goals is to never miss a day because some days you get lucky. That's 100% true. 100% true.
I
So
love that.
need to be consistent. One. Um, what else? What else do people miss?
Just write that down, John. That's a good quote.
Yeah, I like that a
That is,
lot.
I've never heard that, but I listen to Tate all the time too. And I say that basically on this podcast all the time. That's a way better way to say it. Just never
Yeah.
give up because you never know when you can get lucky. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the truth though. Like, let's say you're looking at a site, like your favorite site for a sale for 30 days straight, and then one day you miss it, and that's the day they run the sale, and someone like me completely cleans up because I don't miss any days. So,
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely going to be
I like that.
front of the intro.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, okay. So what else? So like the consistency, obviously, but is there anything that maybe people wouldn't think of, like something that's not as cliche? But obviously the cliches are all true. But it's like
no, they're all cliche, bro. There's just no way. Nothing I can think of right now, at least. It's like the people who give up after they get a Section 3 or give up after whatever happens, a brand regate. You can regate any of my brands today. I promise you. I don't think I'm going to care at all. I'm just going to keep it moving. Partially
Fair.
because I have a lot of money in the business now, and I'm also like super diverse. Like if you looked at my catalog this time last year versus like this week or today, I guess, because I looked at it this week, I only have like 200 units of Nike right now, which is like if you looked at it last year, it's probably would have been like 2,000 at least. So
Yeah.
I don't know, more diverse the better.
Yeah. And what's your plan when you're like you said you're going to scale it up and stuff? Is it to go deeper on that stuff, or is it keep scaling outwards?
Scale outwards 100%.
Okay.
Until I get a really really good buy cost that I just cannot look away from, and then I'll go super hard.
Well, this is, I guess, back to the Amazon. I'm just jumping all over here, but I'm kind of curious because I know that
Yeah.
I know you're in like probably a similar field to what I was when I sold. Are like the same sites? You're doing the same sites, same discounts, same SKUs, or is it like changed a lot since maybe I was there?
The basics are still there, like like the really big sites, Kohl's, Nike, Adidas, whatever. But then there's also like a lot of random discount stores, like boutiques or whatever. I don't think that's ever changed because I was doing that back when I was doing brick flipping anyway. So like when I came into Amazon, I had a supplier list of over 300 suppliers of just sneakers from the brick flipping days. So
Wow. Yeah, those are the cooks, man. You get some little obscure retailer that lets you order like 300 pairs. That's yeah, it's like 50% off retail or something crazy. That's where you make a lot of money.
That's what I've been like. I absolutely hammered that last month. Like absolutely hammered it. Best price in the market. It was like a 6K order in one cart. I'm like, I think they're gonna cancel it, but I might as well just try. And they shipped it. So
Yeah, they're probably trying to get out of their inventory anyways. If it's like a good enough deal, they don't want it there. So they don't really care if you take it probably.
yeah.
What else, John?
That's insane. What do you see? Do people ever like tell you why they quit, or they just ghost you?
It's like half and half.
What do they
Like,
say when they quit? They're like, "This isn't for me."
it isn't for me. I can't get the capital I want. My brand's got hard gated. I can't beat the Section 3 or whatever. But I've seen so many people beat Section 3s with just normal invoices. That's all you really need. And you can give me a Section 3 today. I'm going to beat it 100% because my stuff in my Google Drive is just so well documented. That's basically like my admin VA's like main job. It's just to make sure all my ducks in a row in case anything happens in all its IPs, Section 3, whatever. So
Interesting. Yeah, that's probably an important thing that people don't do is keep like good records and organization of that stuff.
Maybe go through that because no one's gonna know what that means. So, like, kind of,
okay.
what do you have your VA do? Like, how does the process work?
Yeah, obviously I have a catch-all, so all my orders, the order confirmations go to the catch-all. She's logged into the catch-alls. As soon as an order comes through, she'll sort it based on order confirmation, shipped, delivered, whatever. But when the order confirmation comes through, top right, you can click print and then save as PDF. I'll save every single order confirmation as a PDF. I'll put it into a Google Drive separated by which retailer I'm buying from. Inside of that folder is basically just like the ASIN and the buy date. So whenever I get an in-auth or whatever that comes through, all I have to do is just search the Google Drive for the ASIN. It'll come up and every single thing is right there. So
That's pretty simple. Yeah, I bet you're paying a lot of money for Google Drive. I'm sure you're using a ton of storage if you're doing that.
no, it's like only a couple bucks a month.
Oh, sweet. So it's
Yeah,
easy.
you can get like 100 terabytes for like $10.
Yeah, it's something
Really?
like
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Basically free.
Oh, dang. That's sweet. Well, let's see. What else we got? You got anything on top of mind, John? Actually, I have something. How has the space changed? Where I'm out of the loop. Are the like top people of the info and the seller still the top people, or do you see like new names rising up? I'm sure you're one of the new names that are probably big now, but like, how does it look in terms of how it was when maybe I was on there?
I think the top names of like the core sellers are definitely the same. Like everybody knows the top guys, and they're not going anywhere either. They make too much money. In terms of like rising Amazon sellers, there's definitely a lot. My buddy Steven, John knows Steven. I don't know if you know him, Drew. Absolute monster. I talk to this dude every single day. He did 6 million last year. So
What?
He did, yeah, all OA. So he went from like books to like 600K OA to like 2 million OA. He did 6 million last year. He's easily going to do 10 mil this year.
OA only.
Probably like 95%. Yeah.
What does he do? Same stuff as you, or different categories and stuff?
He does everything. What I do, he has his own loops. He's like the king of loops too. Like he finds something, he will absolutely hammer it.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, what's his edge? It's just like buying tons of like a loop.
Yeah, he's like the loop finder. He knows what he's doing, like 100%.
Is he like a younger guy? I think I've saw him on like podcasts, maybe.
23.
Okay, we should have him on here, John. Yeah, I love the loop stuff. Used to be like my bread and butter. So, and he's probably a lot better if he's doing 6 million a year.
He's in Asia right now for like the next 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet. How much does he have? Good margins? I don't know if he outs that or not, but
Definitely does.
that's sweet. How about the capital? How do you even have the capital at that age to get $6 million?
I don't want to speak for him, but bro, he's got like the whole world behind him for banks and cards and limits and all that stuff.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be an interesting person to have on. He's probably one of the biggest sellers at that age in the country, especially for OA.
Dude, it's 6 million, bro. He did basically 2 million in December.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, 1.7.
Wow.
He did my year in a month.
That's crazy to think. Do you want to get to that level?
Yeah, I would. I think it's safe to say yeah, because we just hired on VAs together. We share the VAs.
So what's holding you back? Why aren't you there?
Dude, I do not want to put
that sounds like a dick.
I do not want to put all that like risk into the business, whether it's like loans or family loans or whatever. I'd rather just cash flow and make the profit and just keep going.
I get that for sure. I talked to a lot of these like really big sellers too, right before I got out of the Amazon stuff. And it's like, dude, that's a stressful life. And I don't even know if it's worth it at all.
If it's worth it,
Maybe at his level, but once you start reaching that 8-figure sales a year, that's when it gets like risky. I mean, you're having like $1 million credit card bills and stuff. That's
no,
crazy.
literally, yeah. Dude, I don't know. My limits aren't that great either. Like my credit history is like less than 2 years still.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What about besides him? There are other big guys that have came up and people talk about.
My buddy Abe, he did 550 in December. I saw him yesterday. I was at a warehouse with them. He's in high school, 18, 550K in December.
Wow, that's
Guess
impressive.
what? We share a V8 too.
Man, where are you slacking? It sounds like.
Yeah, definitely am. No, I do more than a monthly. It's just December's crazy, depending on how much FBM you want to do.
Do they do a lot of FBM?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
All
probably.
right, that makes sense. Did you do a lot of FBM this Q4?
I did some. My prep center did some as well. I just prefer not absolutely killing myself in December for 30 days straight.
Yeah, it's a grind, dude. I remember those days. That was like miserable. You're working so many hours. I remember shipping Carhartt beanies and being up till like 2 a.m. in the morning and having to get up early and take them because I had to buy more and ship them the next day. It was like insane. I'm like, is this even worth it? Made like 25 grand, so I guess so, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate when December. I love when December comes around for the profit. I hate when it comes around when I have to do the FBM because that's the only time of the year I'll even consider it.
I know last time we were on the pod, you were talking about whether you were going to move or not. Did you decide? Did you move to Miami or?
No, I'm gonna stay in the hometown probably and get a crib or something here.
Yeah. What made you come to that conclusion? I think that's what I advised you to do, didn't it?
I think so. I don't know. It's like I'm probably gonna be happier if I'm here, but just have my friends over a couple times a week. Then go try to do all that stuff, and I can also like visit there whenever I want. I have 1,000,000 Amex points and like 1,000,000 Chase points. I'll be all right.
Yep. Yeah, that's good, dude. That's a good perspective to have. Don't like chase stuff that you think you might want and you don't know if you want. If you have a good family and friend base around you, that's like more valuable than anything you're going to get anywhere else.
Yeah, I could also always change my mind too. Like I could go rip it for a year or two and still be 23 years old. Like,
yeah,
so
That's true.
we'll see.
So did you say you dropped out of college before?
Mhm.
What made you decide to do that? And like, were your parents mad or?
They don't care. My two older brothers are both entrepreneurs as well. My oldest brother has a mobile detailing business, and my 1-year-old brother, second oldest, has like a marketing agency. So they make good money. They didn't really care. And the reason I stopped is because it was taking up too much time, and I realized like how much money and all the other stuff I was missing out on.
Yeah, like opportunity cost. And you were in a good major, right? Weren't you like computer or something?
Yeah, we were talking about this last time too. Like I don't know. I don't think I was ever gonna follow through or do that anyway, even if I went all 4 years. But have you ever heard of Replit?
Yeah.
No.
You have? Okay. So basically, Drew, all you do is just prompt it to do whatever you want, and they write the code for you, and you can make your own app in like an hour.
Wait,
So,
what's this thing called?
Replit.
Replit.
Maybe I have.
Okay, it's insane. So I started making my own little app and software for metrics that are like important to me in my business. So I'll have like monthly spend, weekly spend, projected ROI, prep center turnaround times, and like a big like field of inputs I can put in for the data, and it'll just spit back out everything for me. So I'm like maybe a few hours into it now, but I think by like hour 10 or 20, it's going to be insane. It's going to be like everything I need, and I'm not going to have to pay any software developers or anything at all, and I get like everything I want just by writing, hey, do this, hey, do that,
Yeah, and what was your major when you were in college?
Computer science.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with somebody. You're probably more educated on this. They were saying that I was talking about the AI stuff getting so big, and like, yeah, the computer science people, that's gonna be big for them. I'm like, no, that's probably gonna like kill them all because we thought that was gonna be a big field, but now it's like anybody can become a developer in like 10 seconds. Like, you've probably heard me talk about developed an app in like 30 minutes. I don't even know anything, dude. Like nothing about coding. So if that's the case, like, what's the point of having like a big thing when like AI can do all that work for you? Or am I off on that?
No, I think you're pretty much on it. So my cousin's similar to my age. He's 1 year younger, and he's a CS major too. And I was showing him. I was sending him a bunch of screenshots of like the app I was building. I'm like, "You're so cooked, buddy. Like it's over for you."
Yeah, because it's like that's their skills. Like that's literally what you go to college for is to learn how to do that.
Yeah, and they do it way quicker too. If I asked him to go do that, it would take him like a week or two, not 30 minutes.
Interesting. So do you own it then? Like, could you basically create your own software company, or you just have to use it through Replit?
I think you just have to use it through Replit.
Oh, you could. I'm sure you could.
I mean, I'm sure you could too. Like you could pull the code or whatever.
But I think the hard part about that stuff is fixing bugs because you don't even know what the bugs are. So that's like then you have to try to ask because I mean it's AI, right? That's what I'm assuming. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like how do you prompt it to like tell them it's a problem? Yeah, that's where I saw it was difficult. But people say that's going to get better and better, anyways.
Yeah, I do think it's crazy. I was trying to do something the other day. I think it was uploading this podcast. I was like, oh, can I automatically upload this podcast from Riverside to YouTube or like whatever it was going to be? And ChatGPT was like, no, because Riverside doesn't have API and it wouldn't connect or whatever. Like you'd have to write code. And I was like, can you write the code? Like spit out all this code. Like if I like played around with it for like 3 or 4 hours, I'm sure I'd be like, all right, well, like what do I do with this code? And then it was like way too complicated. But I think in who knows a couple months or by the end of the year, something like that could be like totally automated. But it was just crazy. It was like you would need to code that. I was like, what can you do it? And it just like spit. I don't even know what it spit, but like I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, it's getting nuts. My the same cousin I was talking about, his like his best friend, he's coded for like Apple and whatever. He's been out to San Francisco for Apple, coded all that stuff. And he's back in town now, but apparently he uses that stuff at his job, like whatever he wants, like ChatGPT or whatever to help him out. So I don't know. I really don't.
What about like somebody asked us recently how we think that AI would like affect sourcing? Have you like messed around with any of that or like coding with that kind of stuff, or do you think that that's a threat?
No, but I've heard of like you can put like and I need to get around to doing this, but you can put like AI agents or whatever and have them go look at sites for like a change in the sale and like the banner or whatever. So I was gonna put like a list of like the 300 retailers I was telling you guys about, check for a new sale every day, and then email me what they are. So I'm eventually gonna do that, but I got to get around to it.
Yeah, I wonder how difficult it is because every site's like different backend, right? So I don't really know. Yeah, unless it's like shop. I mean, if like you shop from a bunch of Shopify sites, it's probably pretty simple. It's like you just got to figure out Shopify once and you figure out the rest of them.
Yeah, basically all the boutiques are ran through Shopify.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's what I thought would happen. You'd have agents that could kind of like scour the web and do it really quick. But yeah, I don't know how like hard that would be. To me, in my head, and based on my experience, it seems easy. But the fact that not everybody's doing it must not be that easy. I mean, nobody's thinking about it.
I have no idea. There's like web scrapers that exist, but part of the issue is sometimes things look a little bit off from like the normal product, whether it's lighting or whatever, or they just don't have the UPCs or the UPCs don't match or whatever. So that's part of the reason you have to go manually source yourself or put VAs on it or whatever. So that's like the edge there, I guess, for like still manually sourcing. But I don't know. It's getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I mean, you could still use like the VAs and stuff. Though, like you just be able to get more data or more precise data, maybe. And it's like include a massive margin of error. So then your VAs can go through that kind of stuff. I'd say that's probably where the use would come in. It doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be like somewhat in the range.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll come back and do. Make a little software, AI sourcing software.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been scaling up OA. And then I'm playing with the software now. Because if you heard any of the RBOT, you've been out of it for a little while. But a lot of the like bigger sellers, they have their own like software they made for themselves and like their own companies.
Oh, really?
Like most of them over 8 figures probably have one.
Are you still active in RBOPs?
I don't really type too much, but I definitely read it when big guys talk.
Yeah, but how are the sentiment in there? Is anybody talking shit about me? I'm sure they're like, I know people were trashing me when I was leaving. I was like, dude. They were back then. I remember somebody telling me there was some guy that was like trashing me. And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? I was doing like 5 times what you were doing. Weird.
Yeah. The sentiment back in November when they did the hard gating was like really, really, really rough. But I think people have lightened up a little bit now, especially since their margin's probably better. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to a lot of that stuff anyway. I just look if like a 25 million a year seller says something important, and I'll read it and I'll implement if I need to. If I don't, then keep going.
Yeah. What do those guys think? Like, are those guys worried about anything on Amazon, or like, do they just not really care?
No, they're a little bit worried, and because the biggest issue is they don't know why it went hard gated, whether your account metrics weren't good, whether you did something wrong in the past or whatever. Like that's the biggest issue, and why people are worrying. I think is because they don't know what caused the massive regating for other people. So you don't really have anything to go off of there.
Yeah, that is scary, especially if you have that much money tied up. It's like this could happen to me, and I have no clue how to stop it, and no clue what happens. That is scary.
What I will say about the bigger guys, like a lot of them have like other businesses they run, and they're super like diversified in business in general. So they're not like terrified, but they obviously wouldn't like it to happen.
Yeah.
I do notice that a lot, like with those bigger sellers or the people who are pushing Amazon the hardest, they all have other businesses, whether
They
that's a
always
leads
do.
list, a VA, a software, a prep business. I almost think that is, you just see that so much more. Like when we first started, I think we were all just sellers. And now it almost seems like, I don't know, do you think you would not do coaching? Like would you feel as safe and secure about Amazon if you weren't doing coaching or like had another outlet for income?
No, I definitely wouldn't. I would definitely always have a separate income because like the biggest guys I know, like Jeff does 25 mil a year. I know we were talked about him the last time I was on this pod, and I talked to him like pretty frequently too. He has like a massive Airbnb business as well, like on the side that he just bought up at like very low interest rates a couple years ago, while he was making all the money from COVID.
Mm.
And then there's Soros who has like his other company he's running, and then who else? Amazon led obviously has a massive coaching business. It's like all these dudes have other businesses, all of them that are massive.
Yeah, that's the common factor. It does feel like there's like a, I don't know, but I mean that's probably just how it is. And also another thing is like maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna word this correctly, but it's like sometimes you might think like, you know, those guys are just getting more money from the other thing or whatever. But maybe the reason they're just like bullish on Amazon, don't care, is what causes them to succeed in these other businesses too. Maybe it's like more of a mental thing than anything. It's like maybe they just don't worry about wherever they're at. They're just like, I'm going to win no matter where I'm at. So I think there could be a little bit of that too.
Yeah, that's the mindset you have to have if you want to make a lot of money anyway. Like
Yep.
the little things can't bother you, and I kind of got this from you too. It's like you've lost a bunch of money in the past, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Stop selling? Stop trying? Stop doing business? Go get it. Like you can go get a job if you want, but the income potential is not there. So
Yep. And yeah, it's just, I mean, you got to worry a little bit, but there's just nothing you can do about it. If you let it bother you, it's just going to eat you everywhere else.
I don't know. After you figure it out a couple of times, you start to get the self belief that you can figure out anything too. And especially if you have other guys who are like in similar positions. Like I talk to Steven and Abe every single day. Like I'll figure it out if I need to.
I don't know if you've noticed this, John, but you seem to be a much better public speaker since the last time we had you on here. What attributed to that? Or do you even know that? Or was this the first time you're here?
No, I think it's because I was heavily medicated last time because that was like 3 days after surgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I thought you just got, I know that I had like a big jump in my like public speaking when I started going on all the podcasts. So I thought that maybe, all these 15 podcasts, whatever you've been on, has kind of helped that. Or do you notice like a huge difference? Even the last time I talked to you, you're just like way better. Like,
I don't know. I know for a fact that was the only podcast I've ever done was episode 1 with you guys that I was completely out of it and talking.
Okay. Well, maybe that's it then. Maybe you've always been good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, what questions do you have for us? You got anything for us?
How's crypto going? I wanted to ask you this because I put some money and I lost it all.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes. I was just explaining it to John. I don't even really feel like getting into it because it's so long, but like it's a big kind of scandal thing happened where Argentina, like the government or the state of the country of Argentina just like rugged people for like $250 million. I lost like $2,500, $2,200, something like that. So that's not good for crypto. And that'll kind of push us into a downturn for a while. Like it's dead right now. Today was like so bad, but that's just like, it's like macro stuff going on. But I'm still focused on it. It's like that. It's one of those opportunities where you just randomly can get rich, and I'm just like, I'll show up every day, like you said, and then like you never know.
Yeah, you never know when like Peanut or anything drops or whatever the other ones are.
Yep. And it's like, yeah, I mean, As long as I have enough cash to maintain myself for a while, I don't really worry about it too much. Now I do get worried. I'm just like, man, do I need to start an income soon? Like get like a consistent income. But at the same time, like if you keep your living expenses low, a nest egg can last you a long time from what I've experienced. But
Yeah, and you're decently in the community too with all these podcast guests too. Grant Land said it best, bro. He said your friends are like your insurance policy. So if you ever need to hop into anything, I'm sure you could ask a couple people.
yeah, I've thought about that too. If I ever wanted some kind of gig, now I don't know what like hard skills I have that I provide. I've thought about that before. It's like, what can I actually do? Like I don't know. I'd be a little nervous about that because I wouldn't want to underperform.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I could coach Amazon people. I could like be like somebody under somebody that just helped them. I'm sure I could, do enough.
True.
Yeah,
And I get paid like, yeah, that's good.
You could do something. You could get back into Walmart. You can do TikTok shop. Like you're decent on camera. Like you'll be fine.
Sure. Appreciate it. I may, if I get down bad enough, that's probably where I'm going to go. To be honest, TikTok shop. That's what I always recommend. I mean, that's like to me a pretty no brainer.
Yeah, like I don't know how I scroll past Twitter and see like another person make 100K a month. I mean, this is insane.
Yep.
Month
What
four
else
on
you got?
TikTok shop, 100K. I'm like, bro.
That's yeah.
Have you done it or have you tried? No.
Are you gonna try it or?
I've been tempted. I don't really know. I'd rather just do the Amazon, Walmart, and coaching. That's enough.
Yeah, get too spread thin, dude, and then you end up doing it all goes downhill. Definitely don't spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
What do you think about Walmart? Do you think it's gonna head like the same way Amazon is in a couple of years or no?
I definitely don't, but for a place to go liquidate things that like died on Amazon, basically the listing got taken down or whatever, or to sell stuff at less volume, great. But the margins are a lot higher. Like every single person I've talked to, like their margins are way, way, way better than Amazon. That's part of the reason I want to do it like more too. Because if your dollar can go a lot further, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, true. And to my understanding, it's pretty easy to ship stuff too. That's my biggest. But I'm so lazy that I hear that you don't have to label stuff, and I'm like, I'm in.
My prep center does it all, but I don't think you I don't think you have to label anything. You just tell them what's in the box and that's it.
Yeah, that's insane. That's like very efficient for your time because the sticker and stuff. If you're like prepping yourself, obviously that's like one of the most annoying parts. I mean, that can be like a multiple hour job. But if you just throw it in the box, that cuts that in like 80% down.
Yeah, I know. I had to deal with all the December returns. I was just shipping stuff back in. It was so annoying.
Yep. What else? We can keep talking. I'm not at a hard cutoff or anything.
I mean, not me either.
What do we have here? Oh yeah, you've heard us recently talk about the Patreon type stuff. What do you think? Do you think that's like this is just going to be us asking you for advice on our so selfish of us, but you're a listener, man. Another thing. Well, before I go into this, I want to say that I noticed that like you always are commenting on our stuff. You're always like talking to us and everything. And I think that people probably don't like know this, but when you are like big fans of people and and you're also not like a fan, you're like our friend too. You'll always have our back. Like we know you have our back, so we'll always have your back. And because I've had like monetary opportunities for you. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's like if you're just in somebody's corner all the time, especially like niche creators like us, that can go a really long way. This is deep in the pod, but I think that's pretty valuable. I don't know if you like noticed that or not, but like you doing that gets you far, and it will in life too, because you'll just back the right horses, and eventually, like it's going to pan out really well.
No, I know, I know. I don't know. It's like if someone tells you you're doing a great job, you're gonna appreciate it. You're gonna like it, and it's happened to me too, where people like back me up or they help me out. I'm like, I got to return the favor. I got to do something nice for them. It's anything, So.
Yeah. It's huge. It's like you probably like it's a small task too, and people probably don't even notice that, but it does go a really long way.
It gives you infinite opportunities too, like infinite. If you have a bunch of friends, you don't need to talk to them every day. You don't need to be best friends. You don't need to like share supplies. You don't need to do anything except for, drop them a comment or whatever.
Yep, 100%. What I was going to ask though is about the Patreon. So we I don't know if you've heard us talk about that or not, but we thought about putting something together. Do you have any ideas there? You think that would even have demand? Because I meant to tell you this, John, before or after the pod, but we might as well just talk about it on here. I know it's probably not the great thing to release something that doesn't already have demand. I know that's like a cardinal rule in business, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like some people want to hear us maybe talk more raw or whatever, which we already are, but it can be better.
I would buy it 100%. It's another thing to play in the background, learn some new stuff as well. Especially like I'm on my computer so much, I always have something playing in the background, whether it's an audio book or podcast, whatever. I would definitely buy it. I like that idea a lot too, especially like the uncut, unscripted part where like people are like, I'll tell you after the podcast, I'll tell you after the podcast or whatever. I don't know. That'd be cool to listen in on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you got any questions on that, John?
No, I really like that idea a lot too, because we have like played around with it. The one thing we'd have to think through that I don't know, maybe I have insight on is, like not everything could probably be shared.
Yeah.
That is talked. I mean, I guess we could like bleep it out or edit it out or something. We just want to make sure it's like valuable and that like, people want it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's almost might be something we just have to launch and just work through.
Yeah, if it sucks, it sucks. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
We just don't. We shut it down.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because I thought I thought a lot of stuff would just be like us talking to each other, or like John talking solo, me talking solo. I think that's just another dynamic because like I don't even have a YouTube channel or anything. He doesn't make as many individual videos. It's kind of just this pod, and like he'll crank some out. But like for you to be able to just go on like an unfiltered rant for like 30 an hour to what you're doing and like what I'm doing, I think that some people would find that valuable, especially if we're talking about like the state of the market or like answering questions and stuff. I think that would be somewhat valuable. Maybe we're giving ourselves too much credit or whatever, but I don't know.
No, like I said, I would definitely buy it, like 100%. And the people who like you guys and like watch every single week, they're gonna buy it too because they like you or they wouldn't come back. I don't know how many views you guys get, but it doesn't even matter. Like it's just like some way to monetize it and then get like a VA in or something for like the editing or the posting of the reels or whatever.
Yeah. Because we get like 200 views an episode, maybe a little bit more with Spotify and stuff. We're probably like 220, you think?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on the episode. Like I feel like I think the recent ones, one was just, well, this will be posted in the future, but the one that dropped today, we don't know. But most of them have been, at least got like 150 to 200. And then I don't know. I don't even track other stats. I have no idea. We have like a player, but I don't know if it combines everything. I'm not really sure. I was actually looking the other day to see if there was actually like a podcast stat like thing software. Mm-hmm. The one that I came across was like super expensive. It was like $150 a month. I'm like, I don't need to know that bad. And then I was just like, I'll have to do some more research, but then I had to do something else. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to kind of look into that and kind of, I don't know, a different avenue, a different thing to try.
Yeah.
What have been? Go ahead. Good.
Yeah, and 200 people is a lot of people. Like, have you guys ever seen that reel that's just been floating around of like, I only got 10 views, and they show a picture of 10 people. I only got 100 views, 100 people. I only got 1,000 views, 1,000 people. And you put into that perspective, it's like, it is 200 people is a lot, especially in like super niche stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a podcast too. Like that's such a long time frame. Like if you just showed 200 people just looking at you talk, you'd be like, "What are these people are crazy?" Like why would they listen to me for an hour? But yeah, it is more than you'd like think. Well, I was going to ask, what's your favorite episode recently, or since you've been on here, I guess.
The sales guy one I like the absolute most, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that one because it's like sort of into what I'm doing with like coaching or whatever, and then it's like, I don't know. Again, like just listen to good speakers speak. It's just, I don't know. I like it, and he's super knowledgeable too. And I like how he said like, he doesn't like putting people in a position where like he knows they're gonna pay and they're gonna be like homeless or whatever. He doesn't do any of that. Which, if you know any like the bigger guys who have programs or whatever, some of those guys just don't care, like at all. They have like the most vicious sales guys ever. I'm like, bro. So I like that. He definitely seems like a great guy. I like Chet Make Flips pods.
The 2 hour ones.
One. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Those are my favorite.
Well, is there like something? What do you think's the best thing for us to do? Like, what do you think people would like the most on these episodes? Like, is there something you look for in some of these? You're like, I'm definitely watching this. So I'm going to tune in, like, or I'm just going to play it in the background. I'm not even going to turn it on. Is there something that like catches your eye on some of this stuff?
If you guys like bring on like high caliber people, obviously I'm gonna be more inclined to watch it. Like Gavin, obviously one to watch. He doesn't do a lot of content, but he clearly runs a pretty big, successful business. Steve Roll, I obviously watch, massive dude, 40 million Amazon sales, private label. just high caliber people. Like Soros, I obviously watch as well. You know,
We need to get him back on. He had like a haircut, so and then he had tech issues, so we only really got like I don't know 50 minutes maybe.
Yeah, we didn't have much with him, which that was like always my like kind of dream guest to get on because I looked at him the same. Like when I was getting up on the OA, I was like, that's the kind of guy I want to like kind of be like. So it's cool to. He had thought he'd met me multiple times. I'm like, nah, man, we've never even talked before. But I guess he'd just see me around and stuff. But he's just a knowledgeable guy. I like the energy he brings.
dude, and that's like where you get the bulletproof mindset too. Like I paid for his arbitrage empire when he split off from arbitrage ops, and that's basically all he taught was mindset because he wasn't really in the business at that point anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy. I wonder if I don't. Is he still active on social media at all?
Unless it's for crypto now.
Oh, really? He's into the crypto stuff.
Yeah. He was Trader Soros before everything. Before
Yeah,
Amazon.
he talked about it on the last part. That was before I was even into the crypto. That bit now that'll even make the episode better because I'll probably have more to like relate to him with that because I know that he was really. I mean, he made a ton of money and then lost it all. I think with crypto, which is how most of it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crypto stuff's too high risk for me. I don't, especially because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't really want to figure it out either. So,
how did you lose a bunch? What did you put it in?
the Portnoy one.
Jail stool.
Yeah. So I put in at like 9 cents or whatever. I went to sleep. Woke up, it was like 20 cents. I'm like, this is awesome. And for whatever reason, I didn't sell it. And then it went down to like 4 cents. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
it just happens so quickly.
Yeah, man. That stuff like when you don't know what you're doing, you're just looking at it in terms of like what you're looking at. It's like, okay, it's nonsense. It can get to $1 or whatever. Yeah. But when like what I'm doing, like I can see all the transactions. I can see like how many people are holding this thing, how big are the holders, and you can like see fishy stuff going on in the chart, like on the 1 second thing. And then you just kind of know that like bad stuff's going to happen to it. And like sentiment, like you'll watch Dave Portnoy, he'll talk about it and it'll drop like a cent or like a $10 million market cap is what it would be. And you can just see, I didn't touch it too much. I ended up losing money and then making money back because I kind of played it right. But yeah, that stuff, if you don't know, man, you're just going in there like it's just gambling completely.
No, it's 100% gambling for what I was doing. 100%. I just saw him on my Twitter feed, and I was like, I don't even follow this guy, but he just kept like tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and tweeting. I'm like, it's got to go up, and I was right, but I didn't sell. So
yeah, I think it ended up going to probably like 22 cents or so, but he wanted to get it to $1. It didn't happen. Not even close.
Should have known.
That's all right, though, man. Keep gambling. Never stop clicking. That's what they say.
Yep. I'll click for my checkouts. That's it.
That's fair. Well, anything else, John?
I don't think so. Do you have any? What do you have for parting words for the audience?
I don't really know. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep a bulletproof mindset, and just that's it. I don't really know. You guys asked me this last time. I don't have any parting words, guys.
What a wise young man.
Yeah. I don't know. Just be consistent and don't miss a day, I guess.
That's good. No, say that quote again that you did last time. That's what you tell the people. That's amazing. You can take credit for it. It's not Tate's. It's yours now.
I don't even remember the quote perfectly. What is it? It was like, no, I can't do it on command. There's no way. There's no way.
I think it was like never miss a day because some days you get lucky.
Oh, I got it. The quickest way to get everything you want is to never miss a day because some days you get lucky and yeah.
Boom. We'll end with that. Where can people find you?
It's just Sadiq Wahab on Twitter and Instagram. More active on Instagram since Twitter's like dead now. So
fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go follow him, guys. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.